And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video, and today is my review of Big Brother 26. BB26 is in the books after 90 days. I know this video I was trying, the season finale was Sunday. I know that it should probably have been yesterday's video, but I didn't get to watch it until last night, so I'm literally reviewing this as early as I possibly can. Anyway, I got a lot of thoughts on the season, about, kind of the highs, the lows, the players, the twists, everything. I'm going to go in depth on it, so let's just go right into it, shall we? First off, this was, I think, a very exciting season, and one of the better seasons in the last few years for Big Brother in general. And that mostly comes down to the unpredictability of the season. First, let's talk about the twists. The AI twist, with, Ainsley and all that sort of stuff. I think it was okay. I thought the twist as a whole was just okay. I think a lot of what they were planning on doing, as far as like big, unpredictable, like revealing twists throughout the season, a lot of times the house guests were they were supposed to keep that information confidential, and they would end up telling the house guests one person in the house, and it would spread to everybody in the house and would kind of be spoiled. So there was that, but there's some other aspects that I think did work really well as far as unpredictability went. That was the AI arena, which ended up just being like a third weekly comp for about the first half of the season that could save house guests, and it did. It did save a lot of house guests. Mainly, let's talk about Tucker. He, I think, was a huge player in the season being so unpredictable from the get-go. There were several times where he would not use the veto on himself, even if he was on the block, just so that he could go compete in the AI arena. What turned out to be what made him exciting also ended up turning out to be his downfall when he lost an AI arena and was promptly affected. So you get that point, but it saved a lot of other players throughout the season, and it really, for most of the season, eliminated the backdoor option. Eventually, they did get rid of the AI arena. However, the backdoor is what makes the season pretty unpredictable. Predictable, I meant to say, not unpredictable, very predictable, because they always can help manufacture who doesn't play in the veto and sets up a very predictable eviction on Thursdays. But with the AI arena, the back door is ineligible, so you can do the person that you're trying to target can easily win 2 different times, either at the veto or at the AI arena. And I think that really set up a lot of unpredictability as far as the season went. So that was good. Also, talk about the veto. The veto was used every week except for one, that being the final 5. Every week except for the final 5. That is insane. How many times the veto was used? I mean, you think about it, the veto was in play 13 times and was used 12 times. Really 13 out of 14 if you count Mackenzie's power-up that she used at one of the veto meetings as well. There was 2 vetoes used at the time. So really 13 out of 14 possible chances that it could have been used. That is insane. That is a record, by the way. It was, like I said, used every week except for the final 5. It would have been cool to see it being used at the final 5, to be used every week of the season, but, still broke a record, and that is just insane. And I think, it didn't really dawn on me until about halfway through the season, or like towards the second half of the season, that everybody's using the veto every time was help and contribute to, then you have to renominate somebody, and it kind of just sets up a lot of chaos for the season on hand. But even before that really started to set in, I was still realizing, using the veto helps keep things a lot more exciting. You'll go back to the last All-Star season, BB22. The veto was only used once all season long, and that season was boring as shit. This season was used all but one time and was so much more exciting, and it was just really, really cool to see. as far as kind of like the front runners for competitions this season, or really just the most dominant players of the game, I mean, Chelsea was by far the most dominant player all season. She was really never targeted. She was considered for targeting, but never was really truly targeted. Mainly because anytime that somebody would start to see her as a threat and would think about going after her, that player she would take out that player herself because she would win the competition. She won 5 competitions on her own. That is nothing to sneeze at. She did a really good job, but her strength definitely did come from the social aspect of the game, and she made some really good points that really helped sum up her season in her in the speech to the jury in the finale. Is that she made all these moves herself. She was the one that instigated all these moves. She kind of pushed moves along that would benefit her game and not necessarily the person that was making the move per se's game. And that's pretty important, and it was pretty apparent as the season, but unlike past seasons, her dominating the game, she didn't dominate it like from the get-go. Remember, she got a disadvantage in week 1 and could not play in the first HOH competition. In fact, she couldn't play in any competitions. So she was probably an easy threat for eviction. She survived that. And then it came to that, she started to run some stuff, but there were some other players really starting to dominate the game, and as the pieces started to fall from all of these alliances coming together, all of these groups of people kind of interchanging and whatnot, and all the fallout from that, Chelsea came out on top and was able to start running the game about the second half of the season. I would say about after Tucker left is when she really started to take control of the house, and really for the end of the season. Mackenzie won, I guess, technically 11 competitions. I'm going to call it 10 because I don't count I don't count each part of the HOH the final HOH competition as its own comp. I just count if you win the final HOH, that's one comp win. So I'm going to say 10. 10 is still a very impressive number. She was the leader in the competitions all season long. But Mackenzie's downfall in the game, as it has been for so many people at the final 3, is that she took her loyal partner over a guaranteed shot at winning the money. And that's why she lost. Mackenzie did not make a whole lot of moves on her own. Pretty much all of her big moves, pretty much all of her moves in general, were influenced by Chelsea. And, she won the competitions and she can say that she made the moves, but Chelsea was able to really rebuttal everything that Mackenzie said in her main points for the jury Q&A and also the final speech by saying, yeah, I'm the one who influenced to make these decisions. And if you're Mackenzie, you have to feel pretty bad that Chelsea just, you made this move and you decided to take Chelsea to the final 2, and then Chelsea throws you under the bus, throws you under the wrecker pretty much in your speech, and you don't have any comebacks other than the fact that you won more comps than her, which the jury tends to look at gameplay as a whole more than just comp wins, and that was true again this season with a unanimous 7-0 vote, which I didn't think it was going to be a 7-0 swing vote. I thought a couple were going to vote for Mackenzie's favor, and I think a couple did originally intend to vote for Mackenzie. But I think at her speech was just not good. She had no true good points. Any points that she made were immediately shot down by Chelsea. And so I think that was kind of the swinger for that. But, I think she still played a great game. And she definitely did earn $75,000. But for once, I would like to see somebody. She takes Cam to the final 2. She wins the game 7-0 herself, right? And that's what you come to play. That's what you come to do. And she was doing, Julie talked to her after everybody did their mingling and whatnot. And she's like, do you regret that decision? Like, no, I didn't come here for the money. Bullshit. You came who the fuck doesn't come on the show to win the $750,000? Who? Who doesn't do that? Whatever, you can try and cope, say whatever you want to say, but in that, there's been so many other instances that happened last season, happened the season before that, it happened in All Stars, it happened in BB16, it's happened so many other times. I get loyalty aspect, and they both definitely were deserving of the final two spots. Cam did not deserve to be there at all. He did jack shit all game. Somehow won a competition. I cannot believe that he did. But at the end of the day, you're like I said, you're there to win the money. She had a automatic victory in hand and decided to squander it in favor of loyalty. And I think Chelsea kind of throwing Mackenzie under the bus, throwing her under the wrecker, like I said, would prove my point that if Mackenzie had evicted Chelsea, I think Chelsea would have respected the move because she knew that she was going to beat Mackenzie, and she was very confident in that. Rightfully so. She was very confident in that. So, as far as other players that I kind of want to highlight on Tucker, what a comp beast he is, and what a player he is. Like I said, he is a huge reason as to why the season was as crazy, as unpredictable as it was, and he definitely deserved the America's Favorite House Guest winning with the $50,000 going to him there. Man, what a player! Using the veto on somebody else when he's on the block and has the veto in hand and uses it on Angela of all people, which we'll get to Angela in a minute. Don't think I didn't forget about Angela. But also, just really having a lot of faith in himself to win comps, and he won 6 of them. And he was evicted, and I think he was evicted pre-jury, and he still won 6 comps, second most out of anybody all season. So that is very, very impressive. And I really do hope that they, out of everybody that was on the season, the one that I think they should bring back for a future season is Tucker, just because of how exciting of a player he is. And I think he pushed to make a lot of moves in the game, and everybody backed out on him. It's like some players, they're only winning competitions. They're not actually making any big moves, and the minute they lose a competition, they're gone because they don't have an alliance. Tucker, on the other hand, did have an alliance, and that alliance was not strong enough because of his comp wins and because a lot of the big moves that he was planning on making to further the alliance and himself through the game, everybody backed out on him with, and it just ended up screwing him over. And I think you put him in another season, he might take that into consideration and play a more strategic game, and also maybe be a little bit more conservative with how he plays the competitions, and, well, I guess not play the competitions, but how he uses, when he wins competitions, what he does with it. With no AI arena to help him out, he was thriving in the AI arena. Like I said, it ended up being his downfall, but such is life. But still a very, very exciting player. And the other very, very exciting player on this season, for a totally different reason, was Angela. What the fuck was going so I think it'd be a cool thing, if I ever became a giant scientist or whatever, to study different people's brains, to kind of just get a measure for how their brains function, and kind of just study their behavior, and to kind of look at that in other people, And if one person I would love to do that for is Angela, because what the fuck was going through her head pretty much all season. She wins the first HOH, which is a huge curse, and she just, for some reason, continues to go off on Matt every chance she gets, and she takes him out. Smart idea. Matt was a big competitor, but her reasoning was terrible, and this was set up kind of her entire season. Somehow she avoided not being evicted in week 2. She made it all the way to final 6. She got all the way to the double eviction, got 6th place. She made the jury. That is an absolutely impressive stat, considering how she did. She won another HOH. She won a veto. So 3 comp wins. That's pretty damn impressive for her. But the moves that she made, I am shocked. Like I said, shocked that she made it as far as she did. Because, oh my God, was she just a wild card through in and throughout. And she had a chance to maybe kind of clear the air on some of that, kind of tie some loose ends at the finale. Everybody's there. All the house guests are there. The audience is there. Julie is there to kind of clear it up, and she doubled down. She told Matt that she still feels the same way she did when she evicted him. She made some other really stupid comments, like they don't need my blessing, in reference to Matt and Mackenzie being a showmance. What the fuck? Why would you say that? Just say yes and move on. Doesn't really make any sense. And just like a bunch of other and it was just kind of the whole thing where she just make a bunch of stupid comments about. She did that during the jury roundtable. She did it all season long, where just had to make it about herself, and that was just, it was entertaining. But now that the season's over and she's going home, what does her family think of that? She's a mother. What does her family think of that? She's going to go on to social media. Actually, she's probably already gone on to social media and seen a lot of the backfire against her. It's going to be very interesting to see how she processes this. There's also been the big accusations that she's a CBS plant. And there was footage of her that went around about her being on Let's Make a Deal and Price is Right. So that could be very, very well true. I don't know if it's true or not, but it could be. Water's running somewhere. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, Angela was quite the character. But that's something, obviously she's a terrible person. Let's just get that out of the way right now. But as far as entertaining television for Big Brother, Angela provided something that we haven't seen in a long time, which was entertainment. A lot of the Big Brother seasons recently have been very boring and predictable, mainly, again, because, one player dominates the whole game and everybody just acknowledges that they're going to be the winner in like week 1 or 2 and just doesn't do anything to change it pretty much until it's too late. But also because the personalities are very boring, and there were some pretty boring personalities. But, there were, like, Kenny, for example. What the fuck were you doing, Kenny? Just quitting like that? Like, you've been trying to get on the show for how many years, did they say, in your eviction interview? And you just gave up, pretty much? I get you want to see your family, right? But I'm sure they would have rather you tried to fight and win the money. And if you happen to get evicted, oh well, at least you tried. That's what I'm saying. I mean, hell, I applied to be on Baby 26. Leah and I could have been soulmates. Look at me. And Kenny got in besides me. Squandered opportunity there, CBS. Anyway. But otherwise, there are a few other characters and stuff. But, overall, I thought the personalities were pretty good. I did not like Gwen at all. Let's just be real here. I did not like him. I did think he was going to be a little stronger of a player than he was. He kind of fit the Ian from BB14 winner stereotype with like the nerd stereotype and whatnot. I thought he would kind of play into that more than he did. Instead, he just ended up being annoying. He actually won some comps, but he was terrible at managing his alliances, and that ended up being his downfall. I also did not like Chemo just because he got so much time in the DR, or so much airtime from his DR sessions about how he's going to win comps, he's going to do it, he needs to do this, and then he would completely shit the bed and not win the comp at all. He won one competition all season that happened to be during the double eviction, which I thought was funny because that was the one chance that they had to do an actual validated DR session about him hyping himself up like this, and they couldn't do it because it was during a live double eviction. Chemo's a great guy and whatnot. I enjoyed him other than just that. Like, it was the same thing week after week after week until he finally got evicted in 5th. Just like, what the fuck? Just what the fuck? Well, otherwise, I thought it was a good season, though. Like, there's a lot of good characters. Of course, the veto record was amazing. A lot of unpredictability. But we still got a very deserving winner. And I think, Chelsea is going to be, as is, and will always be a very deserving winner of the game. Obviously, I would have liked to see Mackenzie kind of take Chelsea out at the end just because, she needs to prioritize the reason why she's on the show in the first place instead of the relationships, but I get it. I do. I'd just like to see that happen one time, please. One time in this modern game. But maybe I never will. We'll see. Unless I get on there. You know damn well I'm going to be trying again for next season. Because I want to get on that show. I'm trying to get in shape. I've been working out. I've lost 16 pounds since the summer started. So I'm getting there, guys. I'm trying. I'm trying, guys. It's good. Yeah, this is one of my more favorite seasons in a while. I think at least since BB20. I thought BB20 was a good season. This one probably going to be the best one since then. You could even chalk it back to like BB17. Best one since then. But I don't know. I think I said best one since BB20. Best one since COVID, at least, for sure. So that was really, really cool to see. And hell, we got a new host for the show for one night because Julie got COVID. That was quite weird, honestly. But yeah, it's pretty cool otherwise. So that's my review of the season. I thought it was a really good season. But I want to know what your guys' thoughts were about the season. So let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of BB26. You agree with a lot of my points? Do you not? What are some points that I missed? And we'll just kind of have to see where it goes, and we'll hopefully be able to tune in again next summer. So for BB27, which I may or may not be there for. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more, hopefully other videos like this. If you want to see more BB27 content during that season, let me know. I didn't make any other Big Brother videos for the season except for this one. Sorry, I just didn't. But I just didn't have the time. The backlog is very large, and I kind of just want to get it done. I'll hopefully try and make some more next summer. So anyways, guys, stay tuned for much more amazing content. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.